welcome to the Geary Cast. My name is Alex Ashmore, and alongside me today, once again, as we had earlier on in the week, Chris Marquez and Joe. I actually realised off the top of my head that I want to say I know your surname, but I don't want to guess it and get it wrong. So could you tell me that I'm right in saying it's Edwards?
So close, but so correct. You're spot on. Yeah, exactly. And very happy to be here again in another week time traveling into Thursday. Looking forward to another game, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, Malaga did draw on Monday night against Eibar 2-2. And, well, this one could not be more important, to use the cliche of cliches. It's a final, as the Spanish would say. It's against Castellon on Sunday at 6:30 Spanish time. Chris,
That's
I'll
me.
get into the game later, but how are you feeling about the week? Are you?
My week went by very quick, Alex.
Yeah, how
I
was
didn't
it?
even have,
What did you get up to this week?
I didn't even have time to. It seemed like the last moment we talked was like 5 minutes ago, like we did the preview show or the review show. A busy week, busy life, busy week. Kid, wife. What else? What else did I do this week? Work. Yeah, creating content.
Back to it, of course, this week, because last week in Spain was a bank holiday, and for Joe in Germany on
And
Monday.
still recovering. I'm
For
still
those
recovering from my shoulder.
in the UK, did you play on Monday night?
No. But I did 3 thrones last week.
Of course, yes. Chris made his debut as a throne carrier. What's the
My
word?
debut, Alex. I made my debut at 2, and one I did last year.
I thought you said it was your first time carrying the...
Two of the thrones. The third one I did last year as well. And every summer I do, for the past 20 years, I've been doing another throne. Game of Thrones.
What's it called in Spanish? For those listening who don't know.
And the Holy Week is called Semana Santa. And I did 3 thrones. Beautiful. Started off with El Cautivo in Benalmádena. Then I did El Nazareno in Benalmádena, and ending it with Lágrimas in Benalmádena. And I was half dead when I ended last Friday night at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Is there nothing on Sunday in Benalmádena?
Yes, but that is being carried by women.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Your history, culture, Spanish lesson of the week. It's not Semana Santa anymore. It is coming towards the end of April already. It's hard to say that. It feels weird to say that. We're almost in May. But we have a game to talk about, guys. Malaga are playing Castellon after 2 away games on Monday night. We're back to playing at the weekend. Chris's weekend is ruined. He has to watch Malaga on the Sunday. He can't chill out and relax and have a free time.
I prefer it because Malaga plays at home.
That's true.
Malaga plays at home.
I assume you'll be going
to play on Sunday.
Yes. Joe, you're not, I assume, not going across for the game, are you?
No, unfortunately not. I have friends visiting actually. One of them is a Elche fan, which is interesting. Actually, very different seasons. But on the Saturday, I'll be watching Bayer Leverkusen, which is not the local team of Cologne, but a team very local to Cologne. So that'll be my weekend. But luckily, that's a Saturday. If that means I can hopefully enjoy watching Malaga on the Sunday.
Well, I will probably be watching Malaga on the Sunday, as I will be very tired from the previous night's Copa del Rey final that starts at 1 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, 10 o'clock at night. It feels like it starts.
Do you already have a bow tie for the cup final, Alex?
I will be. Well, I always wear a bow tie.
Yeah, but do you have a special one in mind for this one?
No, actually. It's a good question. I have a Champions League one. I should, maybe for next season, I'll think about getting a Copa del Rey one. But yeah, I'll be wearing a bow tie. I'm not sure which one yet. Maybe red. But enough of my bow ties. Malaga are playing Castellon on Sunday at 6:30. Castellon, of course, were promoted last season and have been struggling, maybe a little harsh, but they've been teetering up and around the edge of that relegation zone. They are above Malaga in the table. They are in 16th, 3 points above Malaga. So a win would take Malaga above them. Oh, no, it would take them level. Apologies. And looking at their season, Chris, as a whole, were you expecting them to do better, worse, or do you think they've about met expectations?
Well, I think Castellon thought they would do better in the table because they were the first one to sack their manager in the league, or one of the first ones to sack their manager. Better said, Dick Schreuder was sacked, the big man who brought them back to or brought them into Segunda División. We all thought back then that it was a strange choice. But I could say that maybe we ended last week with it was too late to throw out Beisser, but maybe we can still do that and bring in Dick Schreuder.
I would not be opposed to an option like that. The last time Malaga played Castellon was back in December, and Castellon won 2-0.
Yeah.
Goals from Van der Belt and Bosilj. It feels like a long time ago. It was a long time ago. A lot has happened since then. Castellon in recent weeks have been doing better. They're unbeaten in 4. They've won one of those and drawn 3. Of course, the most recent win coming against Almeria at home, a 4-1 win, an emphatic 4-1 win. But enough of me talking about Castellon. I think we should go for an expert's opinion on Castellon and hear what Alex Fitzpatrick from the Spanish Segunda podcast has to say about Malaga's opposition this weekend.
Take on Club Deportivo Castellon on Sunday in La Rosaleda, and of course points are still very, very important, not also for Castellon. They find themselves down towards the bottom, although they relieved a little bit of pressure last week when they beat Almeria by 4-1, coming from behind and really taking to pieces a quite poor Almeria defence. And this is a very, very, very dangerous Club Deportivo Castellon side. They are still involved down the bottom, but when they're on form, they can take the very best teams in the division to pieces. Almeria not quite up there in the top 6, but not far off, and a lot of talent. And Castellon have scored 9 goals against them this season. So that just shows that not only at home but away, Castellon can do it. Most teams are stronger at home, of course, and Club Deportivo Castellon are no different in that respect. But they are one of the teams in the division with the most balanced record in terms of points. I think it's 25 points at home, 21 points away from home, and that's very much because of the style that they play. They're true to their philosophy, home and away. They press very, very high and try to win the ball back high up the pitch and play aggressively in that way. It does, of course, bring a risk reward. If you can play through that press, then there are opportunities on the counter for you if you can gain that numerical advantage. But watch out if you play it out from the back poorly, because they will pounce. They're also experts on the counter-attack, attacking open space, and they play football the sort of way that you would want to watch, really. There's a lot of goals generally in Club Deportivo Castellon games, in both attack and defence, though. So, as I say, they can be got at. They've got a number of excellent players going forwards. Van den Belt in midfield, Dutch, that's one for you, Chris Marquez, and Calatrava, who is a forward for them, Israel Suero, and Kamara, who's up front, is also very, very dangerous. But as I say, that bold style that they play does give opportunities. Both teams needing points this Sunday as Malaga host Club Deportivo Castellon.
Well, there you have it. The expert on all things Segunda. If you do want to get a wider view of what happens every weekend in the second division of Spanish football, do head over to watch or listen to the Spanish Segunda show with Alex Fitzpatrick and Liam Bambridge, of course, over there, doing some wonderful work and helping us out every week with our opposition analysis. Chris, having heard that, are you
heard my name in it?
Yeah, you got a shout out. Did you start to blush?
So yeah, let's dive in it. A very good player, Van der Belt, is actually not a player from Castellon, but he's on loan. And you know from which club, Alex?
I want to guess that he's on loan from a Dutch club that you so happen to have another strong affinity to. Am I right?
Definitely.
For those of you who don't know Feyenoord.
Yes. He's a Feyenoord player. And if there's one thing for sure, he will return to Feyenoord at the end of the season.
Okay.
He costed Feyenoord 850,000 euros. He
Not
played for
bad.
Zwolle, but more important, he scored 6 goals so far and 2 assists.
Not a bad little year away if I was Thomas van der Belt. A year in the sun in Spain, get some experience. Play, of course, I imagine the reason why he was brought in was because of Dick Schroeder.
Yeah, but then you have to know that 6 goals, you know what his position is?
His position is centre midfield, isn't it?
Yeah, more a bit of defensive midfielder, but yeah, midfield.
Just like Rodri then, scoring the big goals.
Yeah.
He has a great shot from distance.
Okay.
Thomas Rodri van der Belt.
Yeah. Thomas. But yeah, you guys know who the manager now is.
The manager of Castellon is no longer Dick Schroeder. He, of course.
No.
When did Dick get sacked? Did he get sacked? It was November, wasn't it? Or
He got sacked in January.
January. That was it.
They replaced with the assistant, right? It was Johan Platt.
Yes, you're right. Also a Dutch guy. But you want to know what the fun thing is about this? How we call him?
Johan Platt.
Jan Platt. We call him Johan Platt. That he started as an assistant in 2016 at VV Katwijk. And I've been a lot to VV Katwijk. I played there a lot as well. Because it's the town next to the town where I'm from in Holland.
Okay.
So he started there. Then he became interim coach. He went to Volendam, did the youth of Volendam, then became the trainer of the B team of Volendam. Then went to PEC Zwolle as the assistant manager. Then became the assistant manager of Dick Schroeder at Castellon, or he went with Dick Schroeder from Zwolle to Castellon.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up being a trainer of Castellon. So this is his first job not as assistant, but as the real manager. Strange thing, isn't it? And the strange thing is, why did they sack Dickie Boy? And they kept his assistant manager.
It's not often that happens.
No.
It isn't.
Usually when a manager comes in without a backroom staff, then maybe that would happen. But obviously Van Holte, I imagine, came with
also ugly gesture from Plot, isn't it? Because you always when a manager leaves, the rest of his staff leaves as well.
Castellon
You know how it goes.
An affinity for players or managers that have been at some point in their career at PEC Zwolle. Daihiro Chirino, their defender, also spent some time at PEC Zwolle, played 31 games.
Do you want to know something funny?
Go on then.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
You really want to know it? You know where Thomas van der Belt is born?
I want to guess in the same town as you.
No.
Oh, of course, no. You were born in Spain, weren't you?
Yeah. He
Where
was
was
born in Zwolle.
he was born there. Oh, well.
From the world is from Zwolle. He's born in Zwolle. And he started his career at the youth of Zwolle. And he even played for the first team of Zwolle. Till 2020.
And another Dutch player in their ranks who didn't play for Pek Zwolle, played for Volendam and Utrecht, Joshua Vertrude, who has come through the ranks of Castellon's B team since joining, but has played 29 games this season, 1 goal, 2 assists.
I noticed something interesting about him. He's also given away 2 penalties, and Castellon are giving away the second most penalties in the division. So let's get some tricky wingers on the pitch and exploit that.
Yes, definitely. Hopefully something similar to what happened against Eibar, but with a different decision. For Malaga fans who have a memory of the 2019-20 season, will remember Gonzalo Cretas, of course, the goalkeeper for Castellon, who was at Malaga at the time. And this season, like we heard from Alex Fitzpatrick, has been an entertaining season for Castellon. They've had, in their last 5 games, 20 goals, conceding and scoring themselves. 5 of those coming in their 4-1 win over Almeria. It's been nothing short of entertaining for the Castellon fans, obviously, back in Segunda. And, let's talk about Malaga, gents, because that's why we are here.
Can I mention a few fun things? That Plot was the manager. Since Plot is the manager, they have played 30 matches. They won 4, they drew 5, and lost 4.
So mixed.
That is the fun.
Mixed.
Another thing which I find really, really crazy is they have 76 yellow cards so far this season and 4 red cards.
76 yellow cards?
Yeah.
That is something.
In 38 matches. I don't know what the stats of Malaga are, but I'm looking them up right now. 76 is a lot, isn't it?
76 yellow cards is a lot. When you look at how 76 yellow cards in 36 games.
Oh, I have also here the stats of Malaga.
Go on then. How many yellow cards have Malaga got this season? You're going to say 104 or something?
86.
86.
And so Cordoba have 116.
116?
But I don't know. They're quite a high intensity, so I guess maybe diving into tackles more, but that is a lot.
I mean, if ever you're looking to make a few bob, have a bet on over bookings. And
another fun fact is that they scored 55 goals and they conceded 53.
53. Okay. Well, they have been having a mixed bag. Well, they've had a mixed season, but they are 7 points above the drop zone, a little bit further ahead than Malaga, and perhaps somewhere that Malaga would like to be. Heading into this game, Joe, we mentioned briefly the reverse fixture. They beat us 2-0, and they're unbeaten in their last 4, but they've been struggling a little bit in terms of picking up those wins, turning those points into 3 points. We heard about the key players there from Alex Fitzpatrick. For you, if you were Sergio Pellicer, how would you approach this game? Would you, because obviously at home it's a game against the team in and around you. You need to pick up points in every game, but these are the ones that you'll look at to pick up the points. How would you approach this one?
So, like I said in the last episode that was recorded a few days ago, I would tend to go more towards defensive football. This is my favorite approach. But when you're playing against such a high intensity team, it's about finding the balance. You want to either go at them like they do, exploit their high line, or do you maybe sit back a bit and hit them on the counter? I would go for the second option. I think I kind of liked the approach in the last game, but maybe with different personnel. But then I'm not even sure who would come in. I think you've got to play in the counter. I think against Castellon. I know you're at home, but are Malaga in a position where we can take risks? That's what I'm not sure on, especially against a team where you're competing with for relegation, but they're not actually the ones you're trying to get away from. But it depends on the roles go around. I'd go for a counter-attack approach, maybe a few changes from the last lineup, but in general, yeah, I'd like to see Juanpe probably not in the team, but then who comes in instead? You take a punt on Rafa and you go for a younger player. Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you think a bit differently. I know you're not as much of a fan on defensive football, but maybe counter-attack could be the approach for this game.
Chris, how would you approach it? Would you go hell for leather?
I think it's a difficult one. Why? Because it hasn't really been working for us, and I think, and I don't want to get back to the player I have a actual match-worn short from, of Johan Cruyff. That attacking is the best defending. I think we have to show more balls. There's a lot of space in the defense of Castellon. Maybe instead of starting with 5 defenders, start with 4 and play 4-4-2.
You would assume that Nelson Monte will come out of that back 4 because of he came off. I don't know if we have any developments on if he's got a serious.
I don't know. I would start with Einar maybe and Pastor.
Yeah, I think that will be who the main 2 changes will be. I think obviously Einar keeping his place in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Einar, Pastor, and then
Would you drop Puga back to into the defense? Of course, he was kind of playing in a
with a 4-4-2. Definitely, I would play him. I would play Dani Sanchez, and then I would go with a diamond on the midfield with I don't know, Murillo.
Mm-hmm.
Murillo, La Rubia, Antonito.
Someone we didn't actually talk about a lot in the review episode was Lobete. I actually thought he was decent against Eibar. He was busy.
What I would do is with a diamond and then La Rubia and Antonito, I think, because Antonito brings you something.
Yeah.
And then Lobete and Dioni on top.
So you would drop Juanpe.
I think I was very clear in the review podcast.
Just clarify.
Or maybe I would even, you know what I would do? I would start, because I didn't put Manu Molina on there. And that sucks a bit.
Would you put maybe a midfield 3 of Manu Molina, Lobete, and Antonito?
I will get rid of Antonito.
Okay.
And I will, in some way, I would play with Manu Molina and Rafa.
So Manu Molina, Rafa, Lobete, and La Rubia.
Yeah, I you know what I would do? Maybe 4-5-1.
Okay. Who would you leave up top on your own? Did you say Dioni?
Dioni, and then what I would do was play with Manu Molina, Aaron Ochoa, Rafa, La Rubia. How many do I have so far? 3, 4?
12?
But I like the idea.
Manu Molina, La Rubia, Rafa, Lobete, and Murillo.
And Murillo.
That is the 5, and then Dioni on top.
Joe, would you make any changes to that, or would you go? Are you confident enough to leave Dioni up top on his own?
I think so. One of the things I liked in the last game a bit is that La Rubia was coming inside a lot, which meant Puga could go out wide. Obviously, that's kind of what comes with, like I said, the system last week. It was more of a hybrid between 4-4-2 and maybe like a 5-2-2-1 or whatever you want to call it. Let's not go too tactical. So I'd agree with Lebete. Just that one other thing interesting, Lebete, he was the most fouled player in the last game. And as you already mentioned, that Castellon give away a lot of penalties again. So just get him to run at them and hope that one of them trips him up. But in general, I like the approach. Like I think having Manu Molina and Rafa, and then someone a bit more dynamic like Aaron Ochoa, like it might bring a bit more inspiration to the midfield.
And
But you're just hoping that the three forward players, Lebete, Larubia, and Dioni, can do something, because that's where the quality needs to come from in regards to the goal scoring.
I think a 4-5-1, definitely playing against a very attacking team, gives you maybe control on the midfield.
Yeah.
That can be crucial.
So you look at the game against Eibar, where I think that was probably something that we were lacking a little bit, those spaces in between that Eibar seemed to fill really well.
And Aaron Ochoa brings you so much. He's such a pain in the ass for every rival player. And La Rubia as well.
Do you think about even bringing on Ethan Merino?
No.
Obviously not starting, but later on in the second half, do you?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's an option. Yeah, one of the tricky things about Castellon is that they're very possession-based focused. I think Malaga are also quite high in the possession stats in La Segunda, but yeah, I guess you don't want the Castellon to have complete control of the ball, so maybe having three central midfielders will help you to get that control. So maybe that's why you'd go more of a 4-5-1 approach, that having the three central midfielders will give you the control. But also as well, if one of them can push on and provide some more, like I said, like Rafa got the goal on Monday by being in a good position and taking a shot. Maybe that's the kind of thing you want to see more from. And if you have the three midfielders with one going forward, taking it turns, transitioning, etc., then maybe that's also a nice approach.
Now, obviously, an important game, and we've talked about the importance of this in the relegation battle. We are, of course, 4 points above the drop zone. Castellon 3 points above us in 16th. Sorry. Yes, I'm looking at this table right. 15th. I think they're 2 spots above us on the head-to-head. In the other fixtures around the grounds, of course, we're looking at the ones in and around us. I don't think that we're too bothered as the table goes far up. But Chris, are there any of the games that stand out to you in this next round of fixtures that you're looking at for results? I'm looking at obviously Cádiz against Sporting de Gijón. I think that will be an important one.
Mm-hmm.
You look at I think obviously Albacete Cartagena. They're Cartagena already relegated. I don't think we have to worry too much about Albacete. And Eldense are playing Córdoba at home, which will be a big game, and will probably be, well, I think most of us hoping for all of us hoping for a Córdoba win in that one. Granada playing Elche, and Tenerife are playing Eibar at home. And then coming into the end of the week, we've got Real Zaragoza against Huesca and Almería against Racing de Ferrol. Looking at those fixtures, Chris, are you obviously Malaga will be wanting to just concentrate on their own?
I think Malaga just has to win. I think that's the most important match for Malaga. You can look at Zaragoza, you can look at Eldense, but if Malaga wins, the difference stays 4, or will even become 7. And if it comes to 7, I think you kill Zaragoza. You literally take the feet under the ground away, and the same is for Eldense. I think those are, you have to win. That's crucial. And even if you win, you get Castellon back in to the danger zone.
Yeah. So looking at the 2 important games, I think are Zaragoza against Huesca on Monday evening, and then I think probably other than that, we're looking at Eldense's game at home to Cordoba, which is on the Saturday afternoon at 4:15. You obviously hear managers banging on about this, and Chris said it, I've said it. We want to concentrate on our own football, but do you think there'll be any part of the squad that will be looking at those other games? Obviously, we're in between the two important ones. Eldense playing before us. Joe, do you think they'll be looking at those results and thinking, well, do you think that might give them that little bit of extra motivation that if we get a result here and those results go our way, then we could really distance ourselves from the bottom four?
Yeah, it's like you said, managers always say, no, we're only concentrating on ourselves, but I think it's impossible to ignore. Unless you completely have a lockdown on any sort of technology or Wi-Fi, the players will see the result. And like I said, if Cordoba get the win against Odense, then that should, you'd like to think, provide really strong motivation to crack on and get the win. Because if they win, it'll be 7 points. It'll be so
5 points above Zaragoza and then 7 points above.
Yeah, that is a. Like, I think only 3 weeks ago Malaga were already in that position, but of course now we're getting closer towards the end of the season. That is a big gap. So you'd like to think that would provide the motivation, but no matter what, Malaga need to focus on their own game because that's the only thing that will influence the result on Sunday.
I don't want to scare anyone, but it could also be losing. Could be the difference being 1 point.
Yeah.
That is where it gets dangerous because if Eldense win, they leapfrog. Say Eldense and Zaragoza win, Eldense will be on 42 and Zaragoza will be on 44, which means Malaga would drop into that 18th spot and would be 1 point above the relegation zone, which is too much with 5 games to go for my heart.
Yeah.
But 7 points. I mean, this is not they say 6 point matches, right? I think this is a 12-point match.
Do you
It's
think
huge.
Is it drastic enough to say that if we win this, or however this result goes, could determine the rest of our season? If we lose, we could probably go down. If we win, we're not obviously confirmed.
This is the most important match of the season, I think, because we're now in the point of maybe it could also be that everybody draws and everything stays the same.
Yeah.
Or that we draw and we make the difference 5 points. But I also always think we should think about the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, and it's or a difference of 7 points or a difference of 1 point.
Well,
yeah,
a must-win game for Malaga, and of course we've talked about the permutations and the ramifications of results there. Talked about some possible changes to that starting 11. Chris has given us the lowdown on his fellow Dutchman. Or
a lot of Zwolle in there.
A lot of Zwolle. Yeah, Pek Zwolle.
It's hard to swallow. It's hard to swallow.
Terrible.
I see what you did there. Silly jokes all around this week. We had is it small balls and whatnot.
Alex, do you think it's hard to swallow if we lose?
It would be because we'd be staring relegation in the face, and that's not something I want to think about ever again, unless it's from La Liga to Segunda. Even then, I don't want to think about it. But this is Malaga Club de Football. No doubt, at some point in our history, we will get relegated. At some point in some division in the future, it's going to happen.
And are you guys going to follow Swallow if they win next weekend?
I can't say I'll keep.
It's an interesting club, though. Eh? I have to say, it's an interesting club. It's a farmer club.
A farmer club? In what way? What makes it a farmer club? Is it run by farmers?
No, it's not run by farmers, but it's from a farm. It comes from a farming area.
Right. There you go. Well, I'll keep an eye out on Pek Zwole's results in the upcoming weeks and more of an eye on
It's the place to be.
Yeah,
I have a question, Alex.
Pek Zwolle podcast.
Alex,
go for it.
If we win next weekend.
Yes, this weekend, you mean?
Yeah. If we win, are you going to do the next podcast you're in? The come in your bow tie. Do an Alex bow tie episode.
I'll do one even better. if we stay up, I'll do an episode in a bow tie.
Okay.
I like that.
Is that a promise that I can make? Well, there you have it. That is, of all the 35 minutes and 45 seconds of this podcast that you've listened to, and if you're still here with us, thank you. You've now heard that I will wear a bow tie if we stay up on the most immediate podcast after that confirmation. But it's been a pleasure. Twice this week, we reviewed Eibar's, 2-2 draw with Eibar on Monday night for Malaga. And of course, Sunday evening at 6:30, we will be back again. Malaga are playing Castellon at La Rosaleda. Thank you, Chris Marquez, for joining me. And are you going on Sunday? I assume you are.
Of course I am. That shouldn't be a question. Match of the season, Alex. I hope we can, and that's an important thing. If you are going to La Rosaleda on Sunday, I think it's very important that maybe you don't even speak Spanish. Maybe you don't understand the songs. Maybe you don't know what you're singing. But sing like it's the last day of your life and sing like you're Elton John.
There you go.
For 90 minutes.
Sing like Elton John.
Well, maybe not. Sing like
Chris Marquez.
Kurt Cobain.
Podcast name, Sing Like Elton John.
No, not Elton John. That will make you fall asleep. Sing like Kurt Cobain.
Okay. Joe, thank you for joining us once again this week.
Thank you very much, Alex. And yeah, I think we already touched on already that maybe the players need some inspiration and motivation. So maybe the news that you wear your famous bow tie and the episode once Malaga stay up, that will provide that little extra kick that the players need. So someone get that message to the players is crucial.
I think we all should wear a bow tie. If we all should be in
bow tie. It's just celebrate.
I mean, we can't let Alex on his own stealing the show in his wearing a bow tie. I think we should all do Alex Ashmore.
There you go. We'll all wear a bow tie. We'll all go to the La Rosaleda and wear a bow tie.
We're Ashmoring.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. Thank you for listening to this preview of Malaga's game against Castellon on Sunday at 6:30 Spanish time. Of course, as I said earlier on in the week, give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, join our Telegram group if you are not already in it to talk all things Malaga with some new Malaga fans and make some friends across the world.
And follow us on OnlyFans.
If you're going to the game, give Chris a message and he will show you the pre-match ritual of
a good time.
He will show you a good time, as he will always do before a Malaga game, and it's a good experience. Barra Manos Madrid. But yes, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you to you, the listener, and of course, as always, you've been listening to the Geary Cast, and Vamos Malaga.